Hi folks, Dr. Bob here. I'm back in Arborea Paleozoo in the Hell Creek section to bring you the Triceratops Forest habitat. We're going to start out uh, at the bridge over into the Hell Creek area, and we're going to move up the path as we did in the last video. Uh, there has been a few little vegetation upgrades, and we've got some lighting and benches in as well. Not all the benches are flat on the ground, but we'll have to fix that. Uh, um, and Ankylosaurus, of course, on the left. And this time we're going to be looking over to the right. Uh, as we come up here, we're going to take a little turnout into, well, not into the Ankylosaur area, into the first viewing for the Triceratops here. You can see one there, and a baby, and a adult male. You can see on the right a sunscreen over there. We'll be coming around to that later in the video, and also the bridge on the left. To our far right there, you can see the restaurant and another Triceratops, of course. There's a feeding pan there for them so that they will come up and be able to be seen from that side of the restaurant. The animals seem to be hanging out here mostly. This is a single social group. What I did was, do the male close to full size and a female close to full size, and the other animals are all stepped down in their ontogeny. Mostly because I wanted to have a baby running around. So let's continue on along the trail. We're crossing a bridge like you saw in the background of the picture, and it offers a view into other portions of the habitat. We'll go over there to the left. These animals want an enormous amount of space. You can see one out there. So this is sort of a three-lobed habitat. We had been looking at the central lobe, which goes on either side of this bridge, and we're looking at the second side there, and extends further on the left, just like it will extend further on the other side of the far bridge. At the moment, this path is just going around the habitat, around the central lobe. You see a bamboo screen there temporarily in place for the next build in the park. And we're coming around past the azaleas and to that other bridge. We've got an information screen on this side to keep the guests informed. The bridges do not have binoculars on them. That was a deliberate decision. And you can get a good idea of the views through the habitat and the mostly not vegetated portion of this hill going up on this lobe of the habitat. It goes over the crest and gives the animals some private space where they can hang out if they don't really feel like being looked at by visitors, at least at the moment, the visitors on the path. So a little bit further along the path, and we're going to come down and turn in at that sunscreen that I mentioned earlier in the video. It is part of the path here to this side of the restaurant. We'll go up a slight ramp and to this stone wall and the binoculars, which will allow us to look into the habitat and see our animals a little bit closer. You can see, I think that's the male back up there in the extension lobe at the nominally north end of the park toward the future habitat. And these animals like a lot of foliage, and I thought it was getting to be a bit too much, both for the zoo vibe and for their visibility. So I used a trick which is very useful, duplicating some of the big trees in place. So you don't add any more foliage space occupation, but you get a higher vegetation value. So that was a look at the little terrace there by the side of the restaurant. And we're now walking down to finish the loop down at the path that runs along the river, allowing guests to bypass Hell Creek if they want to, and look up at the hill where you can barely see the statues, and the bridge to the other side. I have connected the path so the park makes a loop now, so there is a reason for guests to come out here on this bridge. You can see lots of undeveloped park. Looking for suggestions about what to do with that part of the park. If you've got a good one, let me know. And looking back at the entrance to Hell Creek, I still need Hell Creek signage. Still trying to figure out what to do there. And now the elevated view to show you how Hell Creek is developing so far and just how big that Triceratops habitat is. They want as much space for their small social group as Argentinosaurus wants for its small social group. And the number of animals, I think, differs by 1 or 2. And that's on the Triceratops side. Hardly the mass of Argentinosaurus. But that's what they want right now. I kind of hope that will be changed a little bit because they're sitting out there on sauropod levels for animals that are much, much smaller. And in that view, you can see the space for the next habitat. I bet you can guess what it is. So it's animal time, and we got the little baby getting a little enrichment from some hay bales. It looks like the animals have broken up one hay bale, and there's a couple of mounds sitting around in this area. I did that mostly to make sure there was accessibility points for the whole crew if they all decided to chow down at once. So it's not quite a baby, but it is definitely a juvenile. Those horns are a little long for a baby. No, don't tell me they're not. Anyway, if you like the video, you know the drill about hitting the button. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'd appreciate that. And I may have to record the whole thing because I just noticed my microphone is sitting far away from me. I will check the sound when this is finished, and if it's okay, I'll run with it. Otherwise, I'm recording the whole thing, and you won't even know about this. So I did run into a bit of excitement. The game has a filter now in the nursery where you can select just vivarium animals, which somehow I managed to activate. And when I transferred to this park, it remained activated. So all I could see was vivarium animals, and I couldn't get to the next animal I wanted to put in. But that's fixed now. I got told about the filters and was able to turn the vivarium filter off. So if this happens to you, you now know what to do about it. We're coming up close to the end of the video now, so it's time to say the usual goodbyes. This one's run a little bit longer, in part because there's so much ground to cover physically in the game because of what the Triceratops wanted. So next time, we'll be back in Hell Creek, and I'll see you then. Till that time, y'all take care, be kind to each other out there, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye now.